Hello and welcome to the Album Man, and today it's CDs I bought recently for April 2013, even though it's mid-bloody May. And yes, no vinyls this month, there will be next month. I'm quite strict about how I do it. It's very much only things I actually got in April I will show, and as it's already mid-May I have already got some stuff, but I'm afraid that will have to wait till May's. So April. Quite a lot of CDs, show off some stuff. Firstly, I've already shown before, so not that surprising. Okay, start with this. Now, I didn't buy this, but this is a promo copy of Sacred Mother Tongue's Out of Darkness, which I received from Inside Out Music, I think it was, as a review copy. Fantastic album, really liked it. Check out my full review of it if you haven't already. Yeah, really strong, hard rock, sort of metal album, a bit like a heavier Alter Bridge, I'd say. Andy James, seriously, talented guitarist particularly. Yeah, it's a really good album, I'm pleased I got the opportunity to check it out. Now, something I don't even know if I got in April, but if I didn't, I'm sorry, so I'm just going to show it quickly. Order of Voices. This is, if you don't know who they are a little known prog band. Remind me a little bit of Tool, but they really don't sound like Tool particularly. I suppose that contradicts itself, but they clearly have an influence. But yeah, they're sort of a progressive, almost metal band, but not quite metal. But fantastic, love this album, really strong prog album, definitely recommend it. Okay, let's move on to something I did a whole unboxing of. Blue Oyster Cult, the Columbia Albums Collection, as YouTube paid me at long last after 1¼ years of AdSense. I decided to treat myself to this, and this contains, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 albums, studio and live, and also contains a Rarities album and a Best of Broadcast, which is just some, broadcast stuff. Really, really cool box set, really enjoying listening to this. So far, my favourite album is Fire of Unknown Origins. I think that is just fantastic. That includes stuff like Burning for You, Joan Crawford as well. Just, from start to end, a wonderful album. The remastering job on here is just superb. One of the best remastering jobs I've had, to be honest. It's unbelievable. I haven't had time to listen to, too much of it yet, but, I've certainly made my way into it. Really enjoying everything I've heard. I haven't heard anything bad yet, but that's because I haven't listened to Club Ninja yet. I don't know, everyone always seems to have gone about that album. But yeah, so that's very, very cool. Very happy with that. Okay, on to stuff that I haven't shown. Saxon's Sacrifice. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to talk much about this. But why wouldn't I talk about Saxon's Sacrifice? That's because, obviously, I plan to do a full review of it. But let's just say, now that's the only clue I'll give as of yet. So now, something I did mention in a Weekly What News, but refused to elaborate on, was a little-known band. No, they're not little, no. A massive band by the name of Radiohead, who I only recently discovered. Which sounds a bit weird. Why would I not have known Radiohead? Someone who, listened to a lot of rock music, why would I literally never have heard a single Radiohead song, except for Last Flowers to the Hospital, which was on the Confessions soundtrack, and only because it was in the film Confessions, a Japanese psychological thriller film. Why would I not know Karma Police, or Fake Plastic Trees? I'll tell you why. Well, I don't know why. I'm not going to tell you why. I found it was a stupid thing to say. No, I have no idea. But I decided to discover them, and I paid in total 4p. Yeah, this was 1p. This was 1p. This was 1p. This was 1p. Now, yeah, I did pay shipping. £1.26 each. But think about it. This cost it was like £5 for all 4 of these albums. So what are they? I'm going to be going through these, giving little mini reviews on my journey through Radiohead, from the oldest to the newest of the ones I bought. So, we will start off with The Bends. So this album features songs such as Fake Plastic Trees, the title track, Just, My Iron Lung. It's just, oh my god, is it good. This album is just sublime. It's near, if not, it's near perfection. It's an unbelievable album, from Planet Telex to Street Spirit Fade Out. It's just fantastic. It just has a really nice variety of songs, from like the big, almost amphetic The Bends with its massive chorus, big, heavy, guitar sound, the three guitarists, to Fake Plastic Trees with its more delicate sound. And I'd like to tell you, Tom York is a seriously talented vocalist. Now, one thing I do have to say, and that it relates to my entire experience with Radiohead so far, is I don't understand the hype behind Johnny Greenwood. So there's three guitarists in the band, to my knowledge. It's Tom York plays guitar, Johnny Greenwood, and Ed O'Brien, I think it is. So they all play guitar, and yeah, they're decent guitarists, but the two most talented people are clearly Tom York. I mean, he seems to really write the songs, and his voice is just amazing. And I also think the bassist, Johnny Greenwood's older brother, Clive Greenwood, I think his name is. I think it's Clive. He is a fantastic, fantastic bassist, seriously talented. I think Phil Selway is the drummer. He's alright. I think they're alright musicians, but somehow they create just amazing, amazing music. And this is just a stunning album. I absolutely adore it. It's in my top 50 of all time. And, I didn't think they could better it, but they did, with this absolute masterpiece, which is just perfect. OK Computer. Is there really much that hasn't already been said about this album, which was released in 1997? I mean, it contains Karma Police, probably the most famous song, No Surprises, Lucky, Electioneering, Paranoid Android. Weirdly, I'll tell you, with this album, this was actually the first one I listened to, not the Bends. This was the first one I listened to. And it's quite interesting. So first listened to it, and thought, it's okay. I don't quite get the hype behind it. And the song I picked out particularly, it wasn't any of the singles, it was Exit Music for a Film, was my favourite song after listening to it the first time. Yeah, it was a weird one to pick, but oh well. But I decided it wanted another chance, so I gave it another listen, thought, oh, this is pretty decent. I started picking up on songs like Paranoid Android, Karma Police, No Surprises, Lucky. It was like, yeah, this is a decent album. I mean, it's, sort of, it started as like sort of a 7 out of 10, then it goes up to about 8, 8.5, so like, yeah, this is a good album. Then I listened to it the third time, and boy did it click. It just completely clicked, and now I've destroyed the other ones probably. No, it completely clicked, and it's gone up to 9.5, 10 status now. It's amazing, absolutely. I really just can't fault it from start to end. The atmosphere it creates, the themes are, isolation. It's a beautiful album, beautiful music. I've played it near non-stop, listened to Bends. But after OK Computer, there was the quite controversial Kid A. So there's always people very much, it's one of those Marmite albums I find. People either absolutely love this and think of it as one of their, if not their best album, or they hate it. So which camp am I in? I'm in the hating camp, I have to say. I don't like this whatsoever. I need to give it another chance. I know I do. I haven't listened to it much. I will give it another go, but oh my god, it was a drag getting through this. It was a drag. Though I quite like the songs I quite liked, Treefinger and Idiotech, and like a couple bits of National Anthem. I suppose the beginning of Everything Is... No, not National Anthem, I didn't like that. No, Everything Is Right Place, Treefingers and Idiotech I thought were okay. None of it was anywhere near the Bends or OK Computer in my opinion. I thought it was self-indulgent drivel. That's what he intends to make though. By what I've read, it seems Tom York, didn't like the fame from OK Computer. It was like, oh, let's make an album that self-indulgent, absolute electronic crap. And do you know what he created? Self-indulgent, electronic crap. I don't like this album. It wasn't worth the penny. Well, I admit it was a bit harsh, but I didn't like it. So what about Hail to the Thief? Now, after Kid A was Amnesiac, and they're sort of part of a double album, so I didn't decide to quite delve into Amnesiac, or buy it at all, because in case I didn't like Kid A, which is good, because I don't. But I thought, I had Hail to the Thief, it had some not as positive things, because they'd gone back to more of their rock root sound, so I was thinking, yes! Yeah, that sounds great, let's get this, they go back to their rock root. I was well. Except for the title track, no, the first track. So I put this in, listened to 2+2, because I was like, oh my god, they're back. Even though, you know, this was in like 2005 or something, and this is 2013. It's like, yes, they're back. Boom, I'm happy. Radiohead, epic. And I listened to the rest, and you know what? I genuinely haven't got to the end. The furthest I've got up to is, I think, the Gloaming. I just got bored. I just got bored out of my skull listening to them. 2 + 2 = 5, fantastic. Rest of it, oh my god. What happened to the choruses they had? To the big sounds, the climaxes, and then the quieter, beautiful songs. All the beauty has gone out of Radiohead at this stage, in my opinion. And by what I've heard of King of Limbs, that the single Lotus Flower, I hated it. I absolutely hate Lotus Flower. I think it's even worse than anything on Kid A. I think it's awful. But weirdly, my favourite Radiohead song is Last Flowers to the Hospital, which is in Rainbows, but not on the actual album itself. It's on a bonus disc, which is on a very limited edition of it, and now goes for upwards of £100, which is annoying because I love just that song. I have to try and track down the Confessions soundtrack. It'll be on that. Well, I know it is, but you can only get that in Japan, so it's a pain to get all that song, but I love it. It's beautiful. If you don't know Last Flowers to the Hospital and you're a Radiohead fan, check it out. It's a beautiful song. Don't check out the live version. I actually suggest check out the studio version. Definitely, it's stunning. It's a moving, beautiful, beautiful song. One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Yeah, let's move on from Radiohead and how depressing they got because they died, unfortunately. We have Survivor's Eye of the Tiger. What's more to say except this has the song Eye of the Tiger on it. That just makes it good in itself. But yeah, Survivor, they're a decent band. I'm not a massive Survivor fan, but you know, they're pretty cool, and I love Eye of the Tiger. Who the hell doesn't? And it has some other decent tracks on me. It's a good album. Okay, let's move on. This is a very interesting album. The Pretty Things SF Sorrow. Sebastian F. Sorrow, the story of him. And this was an album from 1967. And this is one of the first, if not the first, rock opera in the history of rock music, to be honest. Yes, this is before The Who's Tommy. In fact, by a good year and a bit, so actually Tommy was in 69, and this was certainly maybe late 67, early 68. And now, it's quite interesting, Peter Townsend doesn't credit this at all for influencing Tommy, which I think is a load of crap. And I'll tell you why. There's a song on here called Old Man Going. Now, you listen to the opening of that, and I was listening to it thinking, I could swear I recognise this from somewhere. This sounds familiar. Where's this from? And it's not where is this from. It's more what stole it. The famous song Pinball Wizard. The opening sort of acoustic-y chords of that are extremely similar to Old Man Going. In fact, bordering on plagiarism really, of Old Man Going. So Peter Townsend wants to say he wasn't influenced by them. The Pretty Things themselves have said that Peter Townsend was probably influenced by them. He should just accept it. This album is fantastic. It is really cool, psychedelic, late 60s rock. And it follows a really interesting story of Sebastian F. Sorrow. And it's quite interesting because it's mainly told through paragraphs in the lyrics. It's one of those you really have to follow along with the lyric booklet as you're listening to the album. I mean, it's not one of those that really suits, listening to an iPod. It's one of those, you listen to it on your hi-fi, you follow along the lyrics, and you really enjoy it. You get the full story. Otherwise, you won't. Because although the story is illustrated by the songs, the bits that really link the songs is the paragraphs in between. And the song's just more illustrated a bit. Fantastic. It's a really interesting blend of stuff. The standout tracks. She Says Good Morning. Love that song. It has a really beatly tone about it. Barren Saturday and the last song, Loneliest Person. Old Man Going as well. Really strong album. If you like 60s psychedelia, it's a classic, and it's one of the first rock operas, if not the first. And one of the first concept albums, really, of that matter. I can't think, except for maybe The Story of Simon Path by Nirvana, which was in 66 or 67, around then. I can't think of an earlier concept album. If you can, please do tell me, but I can't think of an earlier concept album except for Story of Simon Path, if you can quite count that. But this is a really fully fledged concept album. Great album. I only got it for £3 from CX somehow. This is why, if you're in CX, do look through the rock and pop section. A lot of it is just Britney Spears shit, but if you delve for it, you can find some great stuff. Okay, Genesis Live. What more to say except this has in the musical box and Watch Your Disguise live, and it has Peter Gabriel. Enough said. Literally enough said. Second from last, no, I have that last. Second from last, this backwards one now. It's Bon Jovi's, Bon Jovi's self-titled Bon Jovi album. I don't really know much about this, except that it's 38 minutes and 15 seconds long. That's just because it says it on the back. I don't really know any of these songs. I haven't listened to it yet. My dad had a spare copy of it, but I do like Bon Jovi. Been listening to quite a bit of Bon Jovi recently, except the new album. That is awful. I hate that with passion. But no, all the stuff's really cool. So yeah, I'll definitely be checking this out eventually. I mean, I have such a bloody long waiting list of stuff. Who knows when, but I will. And then this was a bargain. Got this for £4 in HMV of all places. Iron Maiden's on Vivo. Now a lot of people have criticised modern Iron Maiden. I personally love it. I love the Final Frontier. I love A Matter of Life and Death. I saw them live on this tour, obviously not this show, because this was in South America, and I haven't suddenly moved to South America, as far as I know. But the same tour, same set, and I absolutely loved seeing them. I thought they all played immensely, and I think they've still got it. You know, I honestly do. I think Bruce can still sing. I think Nico can still play. I think Harris, of course, and Murray, and Smith or whatever. If I missed anyone out, oh yeah, oh god, what's his name? Is it Yannick Gers? Is that it? I think it is. I'll go for that. Yannick Gers, my final answer. Lock it in. Anyway, yeah, this is a 2-disc album. It's fantastic. I love it. It's a really strong Maiden live album. Now, you know, am I going to necessarily recommend this if you're Maiden fan? No, Maiden made 1,000,001 bloody live albums. So if you saw them on this tour, you definitely should get it. It's only pretty cheap. Even on Amazon, it's about £5-6. If you saw the tour, definitely get it. It's a really good live recording. But if you already have the classic Maiden live, which I don't, I've never heard it like Live After Death, then you probably don't need it, to be honest. Unless you want to hear, which I would recommend, When the Wild Wind Blows, one of my favourite Iron Maiden songs of all time. I think it's genius. Or if you want to hear Satellite 15 going to Final Frontier as well, and El Dorado. So yeah, so, you know, if you want to hear those songs live, definitely. That's all I have to show. This was actually a lot longer than I expected. Didn't think it'd be 17.5 minutes, but it is. So this has been the Albman. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll, and get it right. Oops.